What's going on, everyone? J-Buck here, and we're going to be breaking down everything in DC's latest movie, Blue Beetle. Full story spoilers, the ending, the two post-credit scenes, and of course our reaction and review of this latest DCU superhero origin story that is in no way similar to Iron Man, not one bit. If you're new here, welcome to J-Buck Studios. Please like and subscribe to get on that Blue Beetle bandwagon, and of course stay up to date on our latest videos. Otherwise, thank you so much for clicking this. Sit down, relax as we morph into the latest DCU superhero movie, Blue Beetle.
Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Let's party.
Nice choice.
Alright, so Blue Beetle is supposed to be the first superhero movie in the newly created James Gunn DCU. I'm not going to get into the specifics of how all of this works, but basically anything before this movie is no longer canon in this iteration of the world. I know it's confusing, especially when the film name drops some of our fan favorite characters, establishing that they're already in this world without, another 27 origin stories. But the whole conflict of Blue Beetle revolves around this blue alien scarab called Kajida that mysteriously crash-landed on Earth. Its goal is to bond with someone like the Venom symbiote and allows its host to have a whole bevy of powers. I'm not gonna bore you with the whole backstory, but via the comics, it's said to have been an infiltrator scarab sent by an alien race called the Reach. They are universe conquerors, had a big ol' war with the Green Lantern Corps, blah, 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 along with the Scarab first bonding to a man named Dan Garrett, who unfortunately was killed by Jarvis Cord, Ted Kord's uncle, therefore passing the Scarab over to Ted Kord and Kord Industries. However, it would not bond with Ted because he was not chosen. Now, all of this sets up Blue Beetle because Ted Kord has gone missing, allowing his sister Victoria Kord to step in as the new CEO of Kord Industries with a goal of money and weapons. It's always money and weapons with these rich folk, isn't it? But she needs to find the Scarab to essentially develop her new OMAC exoskeleton super soldier suits that screamed Matt Damon in Elysium.
Matt Damon!
So if you aren't catching on, this is very similar to Iron Man's Obadiah Stan's realm of thinking, as Victoria acquires the Scarab and begins running tests at Kord Industries. However, Ted Kord's daughter, Jenny, ain't too thrilled about her aunt doing what she's doing with the Kord name, stealing the Scarab and handing it off to Jamie Reyes, whom the Scarab later bonds to, and he essentially becomes the new Blue Beetle, going through the superhero origin training shenanigans and all of that. So basically the movie is now Jaime, the Scarab, and his family going against Victoria, her bodyguard Carapax, and the OMAC project. To gather more answers, Jenny takes Jaime and Uncle Rudy to the Kord estate where she grew up and reveals her father, Ted Kord, had been a Blue Beetle at the same time that Uncle Rudy remembered. However, when Jenny was 8 years old, he turned up missing.
What? Okay, back up. How the hell do you turn up missing?
Oh, we're not doing that joke again. Anyway, Victoria targets Jaime's family in order to capture the Scarab, which results in the destruction of their family home, Jaime's father, Alberto, passing away due to a fatal heart attack, with Jaime and the Scarab being captured, taking them to her secret hidden research facility on Pago Island. This results in Victoria sucking Jaime's Scarab dry.
Hey, yo!
Of the source code, the Scarab's code, come on. Which allows Carapax to fully upgrade into a big ol' OMAC robot boy and go 12 rounds with Jaime, while Victoria begins her escape with the Scarab source code that will make her millions and allow the OMAC suits to rule the future of war. During Blue Beetle's fight with Carapax, he receives visions of his father, accepting his loss and also his calling of superhero, allowing him and the Scarab to fully get in sync. I'm firing my editor. Jaime is about to end Carapax's life, but the Scarab stops him, saying that they don't kill, as it shows Jaime tragic memories of Carapax's life. how he lost his family, recruited into war at a young age, and has been essentially used and abused by Victoria Cord his entire life. Carapax also remembers turning on Victoria Cord, overheating his suit, sacrificing himself, taking Victoria with him, and destroying the source code. Sometime later, the Reyes return to their destroyed home after what we can assume was Alberto Reyes' funeral, as all of their neighbors welcome them back to the neighborhood like a big old Fast and Furious style cookout, as Jenny Cord makes an appearance stating that she has become the new CEO of Cord Industries. She gifts Uncle Rudy with a big old nice new vehicle, promises the Reyes a new home on Cord Industries' dime, and ends with her and Jaime finally getting some much-deserved smoochies. Of course, like any Marvel, DC, or failed cinematic universe, R.I.P. the Duke, who we barely knew ya. There are a couple of post-credit scenes at the end of Blue Beetle, so don't rush out of the cinema like some clueless fan. The mid-credit scene drops us back in the hidden underground lair of Jenny Cord's with her father's Blue Beetle Borg costumes, gadgets, and other tech he was working on. Air Supply's All Out of Love begins to play as the camera slowly weaves through his hideout, and the monitors and control panel Uncle Rudy tinkered with earlier begin to glitch out like someone is trying to send a message. There's a mysterious voice that says, "Whoever turned on my computer, get a message to my daughter, Jenny. Jenny Cord, please tell her that I love her and I am sorry. It's her dad. He's alive. Ted Cord is alive." So it's assumed that yes, this is Ted Cord on the other side of the transmission. He is alive and well, he's alive. Probably stuck in some sort of dimension, timeline, or future he doesn't belong because of his tests on the Scarab. We can also assume that the missing Blue Beetle suit is the one that he's currently wearing on his dimensional trip, because there's also a bit of a close-up on the mannequin in this scene. History lesson time, but Ted Cord was the second Blue Beetle, carrying on the mantle after the death of his neighbor, archaeologist pal, and Golden Age Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett. Garrett was the original Blue Beetle with the Scarab bonding to him. However, in his last moments of life, he told Ted to take the Scarab for himself and carry on the mantle of Blue Beetle. However, the Scarab did not want to bond with Ted, therefore he developed his own tech, gadgets, and studied the Scarab as much as possible, which looks to be the origins they may be going with his character in this Blue Beetle film, this DCU, and the potentially a future Blue Beetle sequel. This scene really doesn't spell out where Jamie or even Ted will be taking things, but leaves it ominous enough that maybe a Blue Beetle 2 sees Jamie and Cord teaming up. That's one possibility, but I really think that if a sequel is greenlit, this will take on Ted Cord's Blue Beetle, where he's been, all that jazz, but have him team up with and introduce DCU's version of Booster Gold.
Hey guys, could you drone it down? You're good!
A superhero from the future seeking fame, money, the limelight, because, well, he has knowledge of the past because he traveled back like, 500-ish years. It's a whole thing. But this could be where Ted Cord is at rather than a different dimension. He's rather in the future, and the pair travel back in time, setting them up in the current DCU, and we go from there. Ted Cord and Booster Gold have a solid relationship via the comics, so it wouldn't be too far off from being what's down the line. That is, if they move away from Jamie Reyes' Blue Beetle, I could see a Spider-Verse situation, multiple Blue Beetles, but that's years down the road. The second post-credit scene is more of a gag, a fun little joke for anyone who stuck it out, relating back to the Mexican cartoon Uncle Rudy used to jam Cord Industries earlier in the film, as we're shown a couple of animated scenes from El Chapulín, Colorado, which is not only a nod to Mexican culture, of which Blue Beetle is celebrating, but this animated El Chapulín was based on a 70s live-action series by the same name, a parody on the superhero genre, which was well ahead of the curve. It said El Chapulín was one of the first Mexican superheroes, which explains its inclusion in this movie, and with the name El Chapulín, Colorado translating to the red grasshopper in English, it's an even deeper nod to Blue Beetle's origins. Hell, call up the Green Hornet and you'll have the start of a new insect superhero cinematic universe. One step closer to some Beetleborgs action, baby! I'm not gonna lie, Blue Beetle was a fun, relaxed, complete sigh of relief from the handful of honestly insufferable movies DC has put out in the last couple of years. Blue Beetle is nothing like Shazam 2 or Black Adam. There is charm, heart, almost a childlike wonder origin story in here. This is a stupid comparison, but it's the Teen Wolf version of Iron Man, Venom, Green Lantern, and about 3 other movies I can't think of right now, all jammed together. It's like you're getting a mixture. I want to say the slang S word, but YouTube monetization will come after me. Anyway, mixture of 7 sodas. There's absolutely no way that this tastes good, but damn is the mixture right and tasty. Xolo captures everything that reeled me into Cobra Kai. He's uncertain, determined, hot-headed. You really feel for him and his family's hardships, and him begrudgingly accepting his fate as this new Blue Beetle superhero. Hell, there are moments that I was giggling because him figuring out his powers just felt right, and the creativity that they brought to the suit and powers added to that. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's a quick cameo from the Zorg ZF-1 pod weapon from the Fifth Element tucked in there, too. The suit transformation is also a heck of a feat. It both looked hella cool and borderline horrific the first time it happens. I'm going to give Blue Beetle a solid 7 out of 10. Even though it sounds like I'm throwing all of the praises at this movie, there are a handful of sections that caused the pacing to hit a brick wall. Like fun, action, hilarious banter, and then a wily coyote smash into a fake wall. Pacing and emotional pull were the 2 things lacking. Sure, it's a predictable origin story, but hey, that's a origin story for ya. Oh, and the chemistry between Jenny, Korg, and Jaime, I just did not buy it. She was Her overall performance was lacking in my opinion. But give me just Jaime, the suit, and his powers all day. Anyway, that is everything from Blue Beetle. What did you think of this latest superhero flick, Beetleborg action, and first official character in James Gunn's new reimagined DCU? I'd love to hear anything and everything in the comments below. Also, giveaway competitions have started up as we'll be giving away 3 copies of The Flash on the 15th of September, and all you gotta do to get a chance of winning this is like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Blue Beetle. We picked the comments at random, and the winners of our last giveaway are on screen right now. So if that's you, message me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at my respective handle. And if you haven't, check out all of my other social media accounts for my Shorts and Clips YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Please and thank you. We'll be back next week with something. I haven't planned it yet, but hopefully something maybe. But that is everything I've got for you. Stay tuned and peace out, dudes. It's Beetleborg time. It's Beetleborg.